It was either 2006 or 2007. I was in New York City attending a town hall concert given by the Volksbühne Theater. And Bruce Adler was there, and all the ganze Machers were singing, and I dragged my boyfriend along, and he's like, oy vey, and I'm like really into all of this Yiddish music. And I was sitting next to some kid, a young boy, and I overheard him speaking that he had just spent the summer at the University of Vilnius Yiddish summer program. And I'm listening to this, and you have to understand, at this point I had no clue my family was from there. I just knew that I had to go. I absolutely fell in love with the country of Lithuania. While I was there the whole time, though, I felt like I was channeling my grandmother. And somebody might think I'm crazy because I felt like my grandmother was on my shoulder the whole time. I said, this is my grandmother's country. I can feel it. This is where I'm from. And even the trees, it just the weirdest thing. They reminded me of Washington, D.C., as a matter of fact. The trees, the greenery, the sidewalks, the architecture. I was just enamored by Lithuania. And I walked and walked the cobblestone streets. I couldn't get enough of it. They had a synagogue there, which I think I went to one time, but there was nobody in it. It was sad. It was kind of a bittersweet thing because on the one hand I discovered this country, and on the other hand I also discovered that there are just splinters, ashes of Jews left there. But to learn about the richness of the Jewish heritage in Lithuania is just something that everybody needs to know. So from that, it became my mission to tell people about it. And, I said, if you have a month, you got to go to the Yiddish program, And I liked it so much, I went back the second year in a row. There's not really a shtetl in Vilna per se, but to go where the great Gaon, there's the former Jewish quarter. And if you look at some of the old photographs of Vilna, you can see the famous archway that as you enter into the former Jewish quarter where the cobblestones were and the Jews would be congregating, you can still see that. You pass through it. And the library, but they have a bust of the great Gaon just as you're walking into the former Jewish quarter. And so I try to envision what it was like being there. Right next to it, now in the 50s, I guess when the Soviets came in, they built these Soviet-style homes that, kind of blot out the effect that this was the Jewish quarter, where at one point there were over 100 shtibala, little prayer houses. And again, when I first stayed there, that's where I stayed. I overlooked that courtyard.